Hello, everyone. Today I will be talking about John Wayne Gacy, or as some people like to call him, the Killer Clown. So let us start from the beginning, shall we? John Wayne Gacy was born March 17th of 1942 in Chicago, Illinois. Growing up, Gacy lived with his mom, dad, and two sisters. His father was an alcoholic and was very abusive to the rest of the family. This taught Gacy to be tough and hold back his emotions. Gacy also suffered from a cordial heart disease, which resulted in him not making any friends in school. While growing up, Gacy started realizing he was attracted to men, but never acted upon it. Gacy had many jobs during his lifetime. One of these jobs included being a fast food manager. He soon later quit that job to become a self-made building contractor. During this time, he would hire teen boys and young male adults to work for him, and no one thought nothing of it. When Gacy had free time, he would dress as a clown named Pogo and entertain children at parties and in hospitals. In 1968, two teen boys came up and accused Gacy of sexually assaulting them. Gacy ended up serving a 10-year prison term. He was then later released on parole in 1970. A year passed and Gacy found himself arrested again after another teen boy accused him of sexually assaulting him. Gacy didn't make his first kill until 1972. On January 2nd, a 15-year-old boy by the name of Jack McCoy was stuck in Chicago for the night due to the fact that his bus was not leaving till the morning. Gacy noticed the boy at the bus stop while driving by and decided to help him. Gacy talked McCoy into going sightseeing with him. He also told McCoy that he was able to spend the night at his home. The boy accepted the offer. The next morning, McCoy decided to make Gacy breakfast as a thank you for letting him stay. He woke up Gacy to tell him what he did, but when Gacy woke up, he noticed McCoy holding a kitchen knife and decided to defend himself. Gacy wrestled McCoy to the ground and got possession of the knife. He then started stabbing McCoy in the chest multiple times. Later, Gacy didn't notice the kind gesture until after he killed McCoy. He then decided to hide McCoy by covering him in concrete and burying him under the floorboard. On December 11th, 1978, a 15-year-old boy by the name of Robert Peist was reported missing after leaving his job. Because of Gacy's track record, the cops decided to search his house for any clues of the missing boy. When they first arrived, Gacy did not let them into his house unless they had a warrant, which led to a lot of suspicion. Cops later returned with a warrant to search Gacy's home. During their investigation, they found many clues that led to them to believe Peist was in the house. Some of the evidence included a collection of child pornography, articles of clothing for young male boys, handcuffs, and a small brown bottle filled with chloroform and a rag wrapped around it. Hours later, they found Peist's body underneath Gacy's floorboard. As a result, Gacy came clean and admitted to murdering 33 kids and buried them underneath his floorboard. After Gacy was arrested, the police and scientists got right to work looking for more clues and digging up the bodies. They found more evidence around the house, such as license and college rings that did not belong to him. They also found paintings Gacy drew, which they found really disturbing. The police kept recovering piles and piles of bones underneath Gacy's home. They later came to the conclusion that they only found 25 of the 33 bodies. Now I know what you're thinking. What does Gacy or any of this have to do with forensics? Gacy has nothing to do with it. It's the bones we need to take a closer look at. How are we supposed to know who is who if all we have are a pile of bones? Scientists need to use the bones to help identify all the boys they have found underneath the floorboard. With all of this new technology, it was easy for scientists to figure out whose bodies they were studying. Some of these techniques included using DNA from the families of the missing children. They would compare the DNA found from the bones and compare it to the family's DNA. Another technique included facial recognition. They would take the skulls and measure them out and take pictures. Then would make a 3D print of the face that they believed would match the skull. Scientists would also look at the teeth of the missing children's dental records to try and find which set of teeth belonged to which kid. Lastly, the scientists would use anthropometry to look at the features of the bones. An example of them using anthropometry was when scientists were studying the bones of David Talsma. Talsma went missing in 1977. The missing persons report reported that Talsma had a fractured left arm. While scientists were examining the bones, they came across a bone that used to be fractured, but eventually healed. They believed that this was Talsma's left bone. They also came to the realization that Talsma was left-handed due to the fact that his left arm was slightly longer than his right. In the end, they were able to name most of the bodies found except for 9 of them. Gacy was found guilty of murdering 12 of the 33 bodies found. He was sentenced to death by lethal injection. And on May 10th, 1984, Gacy's final words were "kiss my ass" and was put to death. Gacy will go down in the history books as a serial killer with the highest known victim count in the entire world.